I bet you didn't know how betrayal can change everything in an instant. The silence in the room was deafening. It was the kind of silence that seemed to amplify every heartbeat, every breath, making the air feel thick and heavy. The dim light from the desk lamp cast long, eerie shadows that danced on the walls, creating an atmosphere of tension and unease. Papers lay scattered across the floor, each page containing top-secret information. These documents were the lifeblood of their mission, the culmination of years of work and sacrifice. Now they lay in disarray, a testament to the chaos that had erupted. A single figure stood in the center of the chaos, their face pale with shock and disbelief. Their eyes darted from one piece of paper to another, trying to make sense of the scene before them. The room, once a sanctuary of order and precision, was now a battlefield of confusion and betrayal. The cipher, the one they had entrusted with their lives, was gone. Stolen. It was more than just a piece of code. It was the key to everything they had worked for. Its absence was a gaping wound, a stark reminder of the vulnerability they now faced. Betrayal hung heavy in the air, a bitter taste on their tongue. It was a palpable presence, an invisible force that seemed to wrap around them, squeezing tighter with each passing moment. The trust they had once held so dearly was now shattered, leaving behind a void filled with suspicion and doubt. The weight of the situation pressed down, a physical sensation. It was as if the very air had turned to lead, making every movement a struggle. The enormity of the betrayal was almost too much to bear, threatening to crush them under its relentless pressure. This wasn't just about stolen information. It was about shattered trust, about a bond broken. The betrayal was a knife to the heart, a deep and personal wound that cut through the very fabric of their being. It was a violation of the most sacred kind, one that left scars that would never fully heal. The betrayal cut deep, leaving a wound that throbbed with pain and anger. It was a searing, burning sensation that seemed to consume them from the inside out. The emotional pain was almost unbearable, a constant reminder of the trust that had been so callously broken. There was a sickening feeling in their gut, a sense of dread that whispered of dangers to come. It was an instinctual, primal fear, one that spoke of threats lurking just out of sight. The sense of impending danger was a shadow that loomed over them, growing darker and more menacing with each passing second. They picked up a discarded photograph, the smiling faces staring back a cruel mockery of the current situation. The image was a stark contrast to the chaos around them, a painful reminder of what had been lost. The faces in the photograph were those of friends, allies, people they had sworn to protect. These were the people they were sworn to protect, the ones who now stood vulnerable, exposed by this act of treachery. The photograph was a symbol of their failure, a haunting reminder of the trust that had been placed in them and the responsibility they had shouldered. The image fueled a burning resolve. They would find the betrayer. They had to. The fire in their eyes was a testament to their determination, a promise that they would not rest until justice was served. The betrayal had ignited a fierce, unyielding resolve within them, one that would drive them forward no matter the cost. The hunt for the truth began with the remnants of the shattered cipher, each fragment a piece of the puzzle leading to the one who had orchestrated this betrayal. The path ahead was fraught with danger and uncertainty, but they were undeterred. Every clue, every piece of evidence was a step closer to uncovering the truth. The chase was on, and they would follow wherever it led, no matter how dark the path. The shadows that once seemed so menacing were now their allies, concealing their movements as they pursued their quarry. The darkness was no longer a source of fear, but a cloak of invisibility that would aid them in their quest. The echoes of betrayal resonated, a chilling prelude to the storm that was to come. The air was thick with tension, the atmosphere charged with the promise of conflict. The betrayal was a catalyst, setting in motion a chain of events that would lead to a confrontation of epic proportions. The stage was set, and the players were ready. The only question that remained was who would emerge victorious in the end. The initial investigation was a frustrating dance of dead ends and red herrings. Each line of inquiry, each whisper in the code, seemed to lead to another locked door, another unanswered question. The team found themselves retracing their steps, only to find that they had been led astray once again. The betrayer had covered their tracks well, leaving behind a labyrinth of false leads designed to confuse and delay. Every clue seemed promising at first, but upon closer inspection, it would dissolve into nothingness, leaving the investigators more perplexed than before. It was as if the betrayer was always one step ahead, anticipating their every move. The pressure mounted with each passing hour. Every tick of the clock was a stark reminder of the danger they were all in. The stolen cipher held the key to countless secrets, information that could put lives at risk if it fell into the wrong hands. The urgency of the situation weighed heavily on their minds, pushing them to work harder, faster, and more efficiently. The thought was like a lead weight in their stomach. They spent sleepless nights hunched over screens, their eyes burning from the endless streams of data. The digital world was a jungle of encrypted messages and hidden pathways. They delved deeper, following the faintest trails, desperately seeking a clue, a connection, anything that would lead them to the traitor in their midst. The frustration was palpable, a bitter taste in their mouth. They were used to solving puzzles, unraveling mysteries, but this felt different. This was personal. It was a betrayal that struck at the very heart of their organization, their family. The sense of urgency was not just professional, but deeply personal. They felt the sting of betrayal in every misstep, every false lead. The team knew that they couldn't afford to make any mistakes. Each wrong turn, each dead end was a victory for the betrayer. They had to be meticulous, analyzing every piece of data, every fragment of information, with the utmost care. The stakes were too high to leave anything to chance. As they delved deeper into the digital jungle, they began to notice patterns, subtle hints that they had previously overlooked. It was as if the betrayer had left a trail of breadcrumbs, daring them to follow. The team had to be cautious, discerning between genuine clues and deliberate distractions. The line between the two was often blurred, adding to the complexity of the investigation. The frustration was palpable, a bitter taste in their mouth. They were used to solving puzzles, unraveling mysteries, but this felt different. This was personal. It was a betrayal that struck at the very heart of their organization, their family. The sense of urgency was not just professional, but deeply personal. They felt the sting of betrayal in every misstep, every false lead, and they wouldn't rest until they brought the perpetrator to justice. The team was determined, fueled by a sense of duty and a desire for retribution. They knew that the road ahead would be long and arduous, but they were prepared to face whatever challenges lay in their path. The betrayer had underestimated their resolve, and they were ready to prove that no one could undermine their unity and get away with it. The investigation continued, each member of the team driven by a shared goal. They knew that they were getting closer, that the betrayer's web of deceit was beginning to unravel. It was only a matter of time before they would have the answers they sought, and justice would be served. The trail of false leads had tested their limits, but it had also strengthened their resolve. They were ready to face the final confrontation, to bring the betrayer to justice, and to restore the integrity of their organization. As the investigation deepened, so did the mystery. The betrayer moved like a phantom, always one step ahead, leaving a trail of confusion and doubt in their wake. Suspicions arose, whispers turning into accusations as the weight of the betrayal pressed down on everyone. The once unshakable trust within their ranks began to crumble. Doubt cast long shadows, turning friends into foes, allies into suspects. The very foundation of their organization seemed to tremble under the strain. Every conversation felt loaded, every glance a potential accusation. They found themselves questioning everything, everyone. Was it the seasoned veteran, their loyalty tested by years of unseen battles, or the eager newcomer, their ambition masking a darker agenda? The possibilities swirled around them, a dizzying vortex of doubt and suspicion. The air crackled with tension, the atmosphere heavy with unspoken accusations. The weight of their responsibility was immense. They had to tread carefully, for one wrong step could shatter the fragile remnants of trust and plunge them all into chaos. Time was their enemy now, every second ticking away like a countdown to disaster. The urgency was palpable, a constant reminder that they were running out of time. The stolen information was a ticking time bomb, and they were in a desperate race to defuse it before it exploded. The pressure was immense, a crushing weight on their shoulders. Every decision, every move had to be precise and calculated. Sleep became a luxury they could ill afford, fueled by caffeine and adrenaline. Their bodies were pushed to the brink of exhaustion. They pushed themselves to the limit. Their minds raced, analyzing every piece of evidence, every shred of information, trying to connect the dots in a sea of chaos. Searching for the key to unlocking the mystery, they sifted through mountains of documents, each page a potential breakthrough. But the betrayer was always one step ahead, their plan unfolding with chilling precision. It was as if they could anticipate every move, every strategy. Leads appeared and vanished like mirages in the desert, each one raising hopes only to dash them against the rocks of disappointment. The frustration was palpable, a bitter pill to swallow, but they couldn't afford to give in to despair. Lives were at stake, and they were the only ones who could prevent the impending disaster. The weight of responsibility was immense, but they were determined to see it through. They knew the clock was ticking, the seconds slipping away like grains of sand through their fingers. Every moment counted, and they couldn't afford to waste a single one. They had to find the betrayer, and they had to find them fast. The fate of countless lives hung in the balance, and failure was not an option. The stakes were higher than ever, and the pressure was mounting with each passing second. They had to stay focused, stay sharp, and stay ahead of the game. The clock was ticking, and the race against time was on.